This morning I took some time to reflect on all the boys over my 21 years now working with youth that I've tried to teach, train, and transform, who chose to stay on the broad path that led to their own destruction, whether it's juvie, prison, or the grave. And then I started thinking about all the older men today, men who are over 40, who are proudly stuck in the perpetual state of adolescence, yet admonish these same boys for not acting like men. I remember when I first started mentoring boys, and I would go into the high schools and I would notice all of the lockers, well, not all of them, but many of them were kicked in and punched in. And when I would hold discussion groups and ask these young men, where is this anger coming from? The sense is, almost all of them would say everyone expects them to act like a man, but they didn't have a man in their life teaching them how to be one. And then I think on the scriptures when we're taught as men of the Most High that, when Paul says, when I was a child, I thought as a child, I reasoned as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. And those things is also a mentality. Why are we stuck? Well, why are so many proudly stuck in perpetual adolescence? Like proudly, like I'm a man child. Like when are we going to grow up? And I always, reflect on how I was, and I never want to come off that I was always this way mentally and spiritually as well. I wasn't. I recall a time, and I shared in my new book, when my wife Nicole called me and I hear fear in her voice. She was saying that a man was following her and she walked into a gas station to feel safe. Of course, the warrior arose in me. I got up, jumped in my truck, and raced to where she was. When I pull into the gas station, I say, hey, come on out. I'm here. She walks out, and then I see the guy that was following her. He walks out, sipping on coffee like there's nothing wrong. So when Nicole gets in the truck, I make sure she's safe. And this is where I want to share with the hyper-masculine male, or the man who is stuck in perpetual adolescence, still doing things that we used to do when we were younger, trying to prove ourselves as men or as real as a dog. Do you know I got out the truck? My wife was safe. I got out the truck to confront this man. I'm armed with 2 guns. I walk over to my man. I said, man, why you following my wife? He says, I wasn't following your wife. That's when I got nose to nose with him. I said, man, you calling my wife a liar? Thankfully, he felt how serious the situation was, and he didn't respond. He didn't act on it. But what if he had her? I wouldn't be here. I'd be in jail for murder. That's what I'm talking about. When we keep telling our young boys, or not telling, but modeling adolescence and adulthood, I see it. I work with these boys. This is what I do. They say, well, such and such say this, such and such do this, so I'm going to do this. And then I got to visit them behind bars because they following men who don't even love themselves, don't even, are still stuck in the trauma of their past and modeling this childish behavior. And I'm not judging them because I get it. I understand, but I'm saying we can't continue to promote this type of mentality as men and then blame the next generation for acting like us. Again, it is written that when I was a child, I thought as a child, I reasoned as a child, I acted like a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. So my brothers, especially the older men over 40, come on, man, resolve what's going on inside. Stop living from that broken boy and start living from a healed heart. I just wanted to share that, man, because I see it firsthand. And these boys are just looking for warriors and men and comprehensive men who can stand bold in something that's outside of being foolish. Again, when I was a child, I thought as a child. I reasoned as a child. I acted like a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. My brothers, it's time for us to put away childish things. Shalom.